Congratulations, obviously, to everybody up there, especially the Bulls. Another excellent weekend. But my question is to you, Chaz. Did you actually think for a while that you could win it today?
I think even before the start of the race, I felt like if I did perfectly execute it, I could have won today, and obviously got the start, and that was good. I struck along pretty good in that middle stint. I saw Will slowly catching me, and I was just trying to hit my marks. But this game is all about millimetres and inches, and by the time we come into pit lane, made a little mistake at the chase, and then we had a wheel nut go as well. It just wasn't our day. So to sit up here and no doubt feel a little bit slightly disappointed that we didn't execute and get the win today. We've also got to reflect on ourselves where we were last year and still be bloody proud of what we've been able to do in this break in such a short period of time. And no doubt this will give us a real big morale boost as a whole team. I think we know we can achieve what we want to do. We want to keep these bulls honest. But saying that, you also got to be realistic. There's so many different tracks and different styles and tyres and all that kind of stuff. But if you told me at the start of the weekend, would you have 2 podiums? I would have bought it. So pretty stoked. And because I keep talking and all my questions are done, I'll just leave it to the big dogs here, like J-Dub and Ryan and Duddo. Oh, it's done. Oh, beautiful. That was quick.
Will, pretty exclusive club race winners for Triple Eight. Just talk through it. How's it feel?
Yeah, it's obviously awesome to sign with the team and then come out and win a race on my first weekend was awesome. It was a tough race out there. It was hot and Chaz was fast. So I was a little bit nervous in the middle stint if I was going to come back at him, and we came back fairly strong. But awesome race. I felt like there was a fair bit going on, and it was good.
Chaz, you said on TV before that this resets expectations for you, so do you now think you are a genuine championship challenger given the performance this weekend?
You've got to think like that. If you have the performance like us after this weekend, you've got to think that you can be in the title hunt. Like I said, realistically, there's so many different tracks coming out, different tyres and all that kind of stuff. But, the things we were struggling with, if I go back to October here, I've got a completely different car, different philosophy under it, and I'm building a lot of confidence from it. And I think... I don't know, even personally, I just feel like it's been a real buzz this weekend, driving the car and start working on my driving and trying to extract the most speed out of it. So I didn't really feel like I quite had that last year a little bit with a few things. I sometimes come in and look at the leaderboard and scratch my head a little bit with our car. But, this weekend, I could look at sectors and go, all right, you need to tune yourself up there or you need to do this. And it was a real constructive weekend. So if we can keep having constructive weekends like that, there's no reason why we can't keep going. It was pretty good seeing Will Brown's face pretty red after that race. It's normally pretty red as it always is. So, like I said, it's just awesome to be up here from where we were last year.
And Ryan, there's been a bit of talk again this weekend about the P word, particularly on the engine front. As a Ford team owner, you're not the HT. Are you happy with the process that's in place at the moment with supercars and the work by Ford and DJR on that front?
Well, look, I think it'd be quite hard for anyone in this room or any fan not to say that supercars have made a big step forward from last year. Going to wind tunnel testing at Windshear was a fantastic initiative, a costly one for the sport, but the right thing to do. And I think I don't think there's anyone here who's going to disagree. I think actually the parity on the aero is pretty much spot on now. I think all the drivers I've spoken to from a variety of different teams have said that. We do still know there's a little bit of work to do on the engines. I don't want to start a parity debate because I don't think that's the right time to do it, and it's only one track. But this track does show that in quite strong force. So we know there's additional testing coming with supercars. We know that there's engines that are going to get ripped out of cars after this weekend, essentially, and get dynoed as well to try and understand what some of the discrepancies are. But I think it's important to note that we are a hell of a lot closer than we were last year, because last year, what we saw over this weekend with Chaz fighting with these boys, it didn't happen pretty much for the entire year. So big step forward. Supercars should be commended for the initiative and taking the leap to go and do world's best practice. And we know there's a little bit more work to do on the engines, but I'm confident that the plan will get us there. We should make sure it happens as fast as possible.
And for all three drivers, hard tyres on the cars this weekend. I think they're still soft in the ops manual for the 1000 at the moment. Are hard tyres the way to go for the great race this year?
For me, the difference to last year, there's a lot less marbles on the track at the end of 250k. But saying that, for whatever reason, the dust out there was probably the worst it's been for quite some time. So for all the rain we had, there was a lot of dust, which is really, really weird. But I don't know, we're talking to the guys at the podium. It's like I thought we all had about 3 or 4 moments across the top where we all thought we were kind of going in. So but that hard tyre, and then we pick up that dust, it doesn't clear straight away. So if there was no dust today, I would have thought maybe the marbles not on the track was a positive, but I don't know, someone with a lot more money can make the decision to me.
Yeah, I thought it was cool racing on the hards this weekend. I felt like it wasn't too bad. Probably definitely less marbles. I don't know if it was just that it was dustier, like you say, but the tyres, if you ran offline anywhere, it took a fair few corners to get back on the pace. Chaz had a few moments, and I thought, here we go, I'm going to get him, and then I was following him in at a few cases. So it was a tough one, but I thought it was overall good racing. You know, we followed fairly closely for a fair few of those laps.
Yeah, I'm a fan of it. I think I was able to push a lot harder than what I could at the 1000. Obviously, the stints are a bit shorter here this weekend, but yeah, especially in the last couple of stints, I felt like I was able to attack more. For me, obviously, where we qualified at to race pace is probably half than what it was at the 1000. You know, we qualified at a 4 at the 1000 and raced in the 8s. We still race in the 8s today, but qualified at a 6. So I'm a fan of it. I think it's better. As the boys said, marbles were less today. Obviously, we'll find out in a 1000k race, but we'll see what they come up with. But I thought it was a positive.
Question for Jamie. Obviously, great result for Will today. How have you assessed his debut for the team?
It doesn't get much better, does it? No, we've had a fantastic weekend. It's all about consistency, and everyone within the team, including the 2 drivers next to me, did a fantastic job and just executed when needed. So we couldn't be happier. Move on to the Grand Prix shortly and just try to keep building momentum.
And reclaiming P1 in pit lane, that's obviously the goal, to try and hang on to that now for the rest of the season?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm not a fan, as you know, of the live pit lane, but it is what it is. So we go to the Grand Prix. I don't think it means anything at the Grand Prix. I think you want to be leading the team's championship out of the Grand Prix when it makes a difference.
Dado, 4 weeks on the trot for you. You going to take a weekend off next week?
Oh, do you need a hand, mate? Like, if we're racing somewhere, I'm keen to go. Yeah, no, so obviously a really busy start for Triple Eight, and pretty proud of the whole team, from manufacturing 2 new cars to the GT lads having a crack over in the Middle East, and everyone back at base still nailing everything to prepare for the 12-hour on this weekend. So it's been busy. So yeah, we'll have a breath after today.
How much, Jamie, has all that track time for not just the drivers, but the entire team been helpful in getting the good results this week?
We're pretty worn out. We're pretty tired. As you say, it's been 4 weeks on the trot. We've been in the Middle East, and then the 12-hour last weekend, which was fantastic, and then we've been racing supercars all weekend. So it's great to do laps and great to do what you love week in, week out. But at the same time, we're pretty weary, and yeah, we'll have a few days off next week to do what normal people do and mow the lawn, go down the beach, get sunburnt. Happy days.
Go back to Ryan. Question about the other Ryan in your team, Ryan Wood. We saw some flashes of speed from him in practice and quality this weekend. Not a lot of luck in the races by the look of it. How do you assess his debut in the top tier of supercars?
I think he made a pretty big statement in his first qualifying session as a main game driver, getting P8. It's unfortunately lost the lap because of the yellow flags, but the timesheet doesn't lie, and he put in a fantastic performance, and he backed it up today as well with a P11 and only just missed out on the 10 again. So he's definitely got raw talent. He's definitely got a lot of speed. I think he's going to be a championship winning driver one year. But at the moment, he had his first baptism of fire at Bathurst in the middle of the pack, and had 2 incidents which arguably weren't his fault. So he's it's obviously disappointing. He's disappointed as well because obviously he wanted to be able to have a fair crack at having a fight with everyone. But unfortunately, that's how motorsport is sometimes. But I think the important thing is his attitude has been fantastic. He's shown what he can do on qualifying, and the racing side of his development is something that's just going to continue improving as he gets more laps in the car and as he has more battles with people like this.
Time for one last question. I'll throw one in if there's no volunteers. Jamie, you've got 2 fast drivers. You've been in this situation before where you potentially, in a very good situation, could have 2 drivers fighting for a championship. So how do you temper expectations and make sure that both the fellas next to you get all the right treatment?
It's early days to be talking about the championship, but no. Both blokes get along really well at the moment. A few punch-ons with the engineers back in the bunker, but we'll sort that out. That's up to me to manage. But as I said, fantastic to have two competitive cars, two of the best, youngest talent in the country, or 2 of the youngest talent the best talent we've seen for a long, long time. So it's exciting for the sport that we've got a couple of kids under 25 that are right at the front of the main series here in Australia. So I'm as excited. I'm a fan like anybody to see how it all unravels as the year goes on.
I totally agree. Thank you, guys. Congratulations, and we'll see you soon.